Okay, we'll call the golf committee meeting to order. March 11th, 1:30 PM. We have quorum. Thank you all for joining. I apologize for the challenge in getting us together, but we had many challenges, but we're here. We have minutes that Jen prepared. So is there any discussion about the minutes? Yes.
Oh.
Places again on the board. Good to see you. I think the minutes look very good, so we need a motion to approve.
I approve.
Except I move. If you say I move to approve.
I move to approve minutes.
And then a second.
Second.
All in favor? The meeting said minutes have been approved for January 9th, and I will get those posted. Jen and I talked a little bit about an annual report that she has created, but I couldn't read it, so she's going to resubmit it. We'll talk about that again next time. There are 3 of us on the committee now. We could have up to 5, so we're looking for more committee members. Okay, if you have someone, please ask them to apply to the town. There is someone who applied, who I spoke to 2 weeks ago, and so he, I think, may join us here shortly. I had a nice chat with him.
Okay.
So we'll see if the select board
Okay.
moves this person along. But it'd be nice to have another committee member.
Okay. Yes, that's great.
Why don't we start with the irrigation project? So, John, is there anything interesting to discuss on the irrigation project?
I just know that they are looking into acquiring the engineer who did the pump station specs to put out the bid specs for the actual in-ground piping and stuff like that, and I haven't heard whether he's been hired on yet.
Right.
That's about all I have on.
Okay, right, because last time we talked about we needed this PE to at least stamp the documents, I guess.
If it's DPW's handling that bill.
Okay. Okay. Anything else to talk about the irrigation project then, John?
No, not right now.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Why don't we talk about the fencing a little bit? And so I have to admit, I find this topic to be confusing, right? Because we have different pieces of fencing in different locations, but Rosemary created a very nice summary that we all received. And so let's see. So I think our current status is that we're talking about this new opening area of fence, 90 feet by 95 feet long, next to the third green. That's where we're proposing to put in the new fence. Do we all agree with that? Is that our, yep. And so, do you think we have a current quote for doing that, John?
No, because anything outside 30 days isn't current.
Right.
90 days, because 90 days.
And
This is from the edge of the old fence that she always called the Franken fence to behind the 4th tee, correct?
that's right.
That's it.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
That's exactly right.
And how close the height on it?
I'm sorry?
Did you do a height or you haven't?
This is described as being 95 feet long and shoot, it doesn't say. Her description did not say how tall we
Because I think that's what was really something that wasn't agreed upon, or
Okay, so how do we decide how tall, Rats? How did we decide how tall that fence? The other fences are varying heights. How do we decide how tall we want this fence to be?
Over the one that's there.
Wasn't this also discussed to be the netting that's supposed to be raised and lowered?
Yes. Right.
A lot of different options on the table on this one.
Last time I talked to Rosemary, she didn't think that was a good idea.
The
And then
A removable fence. She was not in favor of that,
I'm not
that's what
myself.
that woman.
and the neighbor was in
really
favor.
Oh, but she wants a
Take
removable
it
That's
down
right.
in the
That's
off
right.
season.
And so then making it removable has an impact on how tall we can make the fence then, right? So that it can be removed.
I can see a situation where she lives there and the new neighbor's gonna want a fence. Cause the ball still goes over. She doesn't care that it goes over, that somebody else will.
Oh, it's, no matter what we do there, it's balls can still go over, but you won't get that direct
Right.
one that, like, with the one she got hit by. If it goes over, it's not gonna hurt as bad.
Right. The long versus the line drive.
Right, yeah, exactly.
That's right.
But I mean, if it is I mean, I think that if it needs to be a fence and not netting, I think we just have to tell her that after looking at it, you know. And if you do like black fencing, that disappears.
I just wonder if she's gonna. No.
One of the things,
Because it totally does ruin her view, which was what she bought the house for, right? The view of
A
the.
black fence just disappears. I mean, I've seen people who have had black chain link fence. And you don't really, it just disappears. Like if you have silver or green, you see it, but if you have black, it just disappears.
Has there been any complaints with the neighbors about the fencing across from their place all the way up? I don't think it's been one complaint,
Other
except
than-
for the fact that we need more.
Not that I've heard, but that's not to say it hasn't happened.
Julie,
Regarding the view of it.
Yeah, right.
No,
right,
just the
right.
just the balls from it was there when they bought, so.
Right, so-
You know, it's-
one of the last conversations I had with her, she had at the meeting here. That I won't say she wanted the fence, but the biggest gripe she had, we don't have any gates. We do have one gate over across, so it would isolate the golf course. I don't know whether it's worth thinking about putting a gate in there to appease it. You know, in other words, if they wanna walk.
I see.
Well, in the wintertime, you have to walk 3 miles.
So in all of
But we
the
could
existing,
go-
I did not recall that, and all of the existing fencing that's there is no gate.
There is
gate.
one
Oh,
gate.
there's one gate,
Yeah, that's where the irrigation comes in,
Yeah.
that we need to
and is
pass it.
that not sufficient?
But if we do permanent fence, but if there is somewhat of a gap at the end of that fence, kind of behind the fourth tee, because I don't think it was going completely behind the fourth tee,
It would be there.
you know, then, you know. You could get in.
And I just don't think, not to say anything about John. John might not be here, you know, somebody else takes over, that fence is not gonna go up and down. I guarantee you that, might for the first 3 years. In other words, whoever's managing the golf course is gonna have that responsibility. I can see it staying up there myself. I think it'll work in the beginning, but it won't work for us.
Possible.
So if we do the
That's
fencing, would the
possible, but-
fencing be the same height as the fence that's there now, just in black?
In back of the third green,
The fence that goes along with 7?
well, the one in back of the third green is tall.
Okay,
Okay, my own experience there. There's a house across right in back of that. And the ball does clear that fence occasionally. She's got the barn, the garage door showing the dents. Well, I don't know if they come down any lower. And maybe just ask them for trouble.
Is that 12 feet?
So, John,
That fence?
if we,
It's higher than 12 feet?
would it be reasonable to ask these fence companies? For 2 quotes, one which was a permanent fence and one which was a removable fence, so we can see what the cost difference
Might be two different types of companies.
Might be 2 different types of companies.
Yeah, there some are, you know, there's other contractors out there who are specific to sports fields and stuff. These gentlemen, I think the fence quotes we have are from general fence, like homeowners who bring in, but you might have to go more specialized. And get it from them, find out who they are.
I'm
So
looking
I
at
don't-
notes I took in last April in a meeting, and the architect was recommended 12-foot chain link fence there. He said netting wouldn't last as long. The resident required netting.
Yeah, the other thing is you do have to look at what the golf course architect recommended, and it'd be tough for someone to go against recommendation. And if something happened that might not be to the neighbor, it might be to a golfer, it might be to, I don't know.
Yeah, and that was,
If you went to a different thing other than what the golf course architect recommended. And even town council will probably kind of shy away from doing something like that, especially when you have an authority who's telling you. You know what I mean?
So use a
you kinda-
permanent,
I
to
think
use
you
a
should-
permanent fence.
I think no matter what, you should defer to the architect, what his recommendation is, and because that's gonna cover everybody. You know,
Yes.
liability would be a thing by changing something's liability, by not putting up the right thing. Again, oh, this guy, if someone gets hit with the net, oh, he told you to do this, because that made a difference. It's just opened you up for litigation.
Yeah, in the I mean, my notes here say that it was the architect who said 12-foot chain link.
Right, I think you should go to the architect, it's the person you have to rely on
Yep.
to make the decision.
That's a good
So
point.
it's the 12-foot high, 240 feet,
Yeah,
that's the
Yeah.
whole thing,
that's the
so
whole
we
thing.
only need the 9.
Yeah,
But he's recommending that the black on black, yes.
so John, I think you make a good point. So could you please, I think, get 1 or 2 estimates for permanent black 12-foot tall fence for that 90-foot stretch?
I'll see if I can, and it's like, this is a lot of stuff, it's. Again, I don't mind helping you out, getting the right names, and being there if they're there, type thing on some of these things, it's no problem, but I've done it 3 or 4 times already. It's getting repetitive.
I understand.
and You know what I mean, so,
I understand. So
okay, I'll reach out to them, I have the information.
thank you for your flexibility.
Okay.
And we will either follow through on this one this time, or we're gonna table it for a while.
And I think it's reasonable that, when she says April, so.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's, enough, if you can't come to a decision, then it's probably best to, again, table it.
Yep.
Or put it, again,
Yeah,
legal might say, no, we can't do this or whatever.
I think that's very fair.
And I think someone, from the finish, you talked to her before, what the decision.
Yeah,
made.
clearly,
And I think it
as
is-
we're about to,
Right.
if we get to a point where we're going to make a decision, we should check her.
Right.
I think
I think take what, do what John said, we have to go with, from a liability point of view, we have to go with what the architect recommends.
And I really do think that the board has really done more above, looking into this issue too. I think.
Yeah, I
they've done a good
think, I
job
think
on
we've
it.
been good.
Yeah.
And we're not done yet. But
No, I'm just saying.
I think we've been trying.
Like nothing's
Depends due
gonna be
diligence.
perfect, right?
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. Okay, so, well, John, thank you for doing this one more time, and then we
Okay.
will.
And it's
either-
95 by 12,
95 by 12.
by what, okay, recommended by
He
the
says
architect.
100, but I don't know.
Well,
I think
I'm
it's, give or take.
give or take,
Yeah.
but I'm going by Rosemary's diagram, which looks very official.
If they say it's 100, it's easier, then we'll go to 100.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine.
Yeah, it's, this is from the golf course architect.
Yep.
document.
Okay. Okay. We will move past the fencing.
No,
Oh,
no gates.
Do you
I think you
need-
should butt it up right up. You shouldn't have separation. That's a good idea. But you never know, again,
Would there be a reason you would need one from a maintenance perspective at all?
well, for one thing, they're probably gonna put up a fencing and they're gonna set a new pole right next to the last pole. That is my guess. So if you had an opportunity to put a gap, you don't wanna put a gap, you don't wanna do this. You wanna go by the architect, defer to the architect. Should we put a fencing? He's gonna probably say whatever you want to do. That's kind of not a
let's,
thing, but I would
let's,
say make sure it's locked at times.
I propose we assume no gate,
No gate.
No gate?
no gate. Anything else, John, on that?
No, that's it, just so I can.
Yep.
They might not have to come out, they can probably just give it to
Yep.
them, might be easy, okay?
So that's perfect. Okay. Okay, fencing. 7th fairway. I don't think that there's anything for us to discuss about this today. I think we're gonna leave this agenda on in here for a little while, but so we may come back to it, but I don't think there's any discussion today. Okay with you all? First hole cart path?
Yeah, we recommended a cart path, last meeting. I brought that up, I believe, in new business, which case, I gave an estimated of how much it's gonna cost. I actually contacted Melissa downtown. I have to fill out again, I asked, who's gonna be, someone from the board has to be responsible for, for doing all the paperwork, because it's a lot of town paperwork. Melissa did it last time for with the permits. You have to go through a, what's a fellow form, I just filled it out the other night. For conservation, because you have to go through conservation, they have to approve it.
Yep.
And SVT has to say it's okay too. I don't think it'd be an issue. And I wrote it up, and unfortunately, the computer they had it backloaded onto didn't have the printer going, so I couldn't get it bring over, at least have it, but it
Okay,
was a shortened form, in which case I'll have to contact Melissa. But, something that, like the irrigation, somebody's in charge of the irrigation, I didn't know if anybody on short committee you have right now wants to, actually, the person I talked to, Melissa can talk to.
I did not understand your question there. So you're asking for someone on the committee?
Usually
to
someone
be-
on the, if we're cutting down trees, it'd be someone from the commission that's on trees, or someone that come back forth, like,
Okay,
so
so you're asking for someone on the committee to be your point person for irrigation topics?
for the
No,
No,
first
right.
hole
Oh, no,
concept.
because you talked to. oh, for the
irrigation
first-
authorities with the
Okay,
details.
so for the first hole project, for the first hole cart path, okay.
Yeah, just in case there's someone has to do it, it's like those forms to
Would
fill
one
out.
of you
Yeah.
be willing to?
Yeah. I'll do that.
Okay, so please contact Kat.
No problem.
So I have my notes from last meeting, that the cost was estimated to be 25,000 and
That's a guesstimate.
And you need the select board to approve it.
That would be conservation has to approve, and that's select board.
Well, certainly,
Oh, well, select board eventually has to approve the appropriation.
yeah, so certainly, so at the last meeting, there was a question about how much money is in the revolving fund right now? And I don't have the answer to that yet, unless you happen to. I asked Mark, but I must admit, I only
We
asked
do.
him
You
yesterday.
sent it to us.
How much?
95, I believe. is-
As of what day?
As of, let me get my. I have it from you.
Then I completely forgot that. Really?
Yes.
Yep.
98,600,
As of what day?
whenever you sent us an email.
Last
last meeting.
Oh, I forgot that then. Sorry about that.
Look at that.
I wonder. We still have to confirm. I don't know if any other money I don't know how funds go in and out of, how money goes in and out of that fund.
So it
So,
goes in from the payments.
right, right,
to the company.
right.
And how does?
But how does it go out? Like, is it possible that some of that has been spent in the last 30 days?
Unlikely, but Mark would know
That's
best
right.
about what
Okay.
happened to it. And that
So-
will be the question you would get from the select board is why shouldn't that be paid out of the revolving fund?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, no, so that's right. So I think really what we're talking about here is, and I did pose the question to Mark again, to find out the current balance. And then when we have an estimate of the fencing cost, I think we need a good estimate for the first hole. We need estimates for the various projects we're talking about spending money on. So that we can go to this, I think we have to go to the select board and ask them to approve the expenditure of the funds. I think that's what we've done in the past, right?
By vague memory, I'm not sure. Mark again can tell you.
I'm pretty sure that's what we've done in the past.
I have
So,
your email. So it was January 10th.
yeah.
You said 98,600 in the golf revolving fund today. Note there's a cap on how much can be withdrawn from this fund each year. The cap is 75,000.
And how much can we?
But the
roll
cap
over?
can be exceeded if the select board and advisory committees agree. That was your email.
Is that a fiscal? Is that fiscal, do you think? Fiscal expenditure, not a calendar.
It doesn't say, it just says it can be exceeded.
Usually fiscal.
Yes, it is. Again, it just depends what the money's available.
Again, Mark is the best source.
So I will coordinate with Mark. And create a little budget, allocation of the various things that we currently are thinking of spending that money on. The list of things we could spend that money on include
The fencing,
the fencing. Which, let's see here. The last estimates were like, give or take $15,000 or $20,000, it looks like.
That was.
Oh, no, that was the other
fencing
fence.
behind, correct, it's not gonna be accurate. I probably maybe bumped it up 30%, but that's just a guess right now.
So look,
Yeah,
so
last
just
year
for
we
the
said
back
we
of an
were
envelope right now, let's say it's 25K for the fencing. Just back of the envelope. And also coincidentally, but you thought it might be 25,000 for the first
Give or take, probably less. I just got.
whole cart path.
Yes, it's to replace the existing
Yep.
path that's gravel. And it will be an extension of the existing path at the first tee.
Yeah.
In which case, what is happening is that with that slope, it's just like the
Yeah.
third, it's
Yeah.
running in and actually moving onto the fairway, which we will address after we do that. We'll see about what's needed to reclaim the third fairway. It's got all gravel through it now.
Perfect.
So
So is there anything else in the near term, like in the next 3 or 4 months, that we
Yeah.
are thinking about using some funds from that revolving fund.
Yes,
So we referred, the T referred.
But the T refurbishment was gonna be much more money than can. be-
correct, but we
can be
still have to
afforded.
get an architect on board, so that's 10 grand or so. You know, so if you get an architect on, write up the paperwork, do the, you know, for the bid process, or if it has, they'd probably have to go out to bid. So has to do all that.
So if you got an architect to do that, is that if it's something that we couldn't afford to do this time, like right now, we could still use.
Right, you'll have the plans,
Okay.
right.
And
then
they're
you can
good
put it
for,
on. Right, and then I had the estimates, I just didn't have them with me, and I think I think.
And I
it might
thought
have
we
been
were gonna-
last time.
and we were
Yeah,
gonna
we said
prioritize.
85K.
Yeah, 85,000 is what it's
Yeah.
gonna cost to do the Ts that need to be done.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say, we're gonna
358.
prioritize.
Yeah, but you know, it'd be nice to do them all, but it might be better, hey, let's do this whole hole, this whole hole, this whole hole, and break
Yeah.
out.
Okay,
Okay, so again, to recap then, so then let's just assume that we can spend $75,000. You know, that there's money in there and we're allowed to spend that much with the select board approval. So far, we're talking about fencing, maybe 25 grand, first hole cart path, maybe 25 grand, and an architect fee of $10,000 for the refurbishment of 3 tee boxes. So we'd be at, give or take, $60,000. Is there anything else we can think of right now that are potential improvements in the nearer term for the golf course that these funds might be used for?
Well, actually, it might be good to get maybe take a look at some, maybe get all the plans done for all the Ts first. Might be a little bit more money there. Instead of just doing 3, hey, let's see what really do need to be doing it, so at least we have the plan. You know, the architectural plans on one bid.
Yes, Lynn?
Two things, one, I think because it'd be good if we could get this in this fiscal year. You know, so before the end of June. So
Okay.
if we get approval, to spend all these things. What about benches at every tee box?
I think that'd be something I could take a look at. We're right now, we're responsible for the benches.
Okay,
We supply benches, we brought more in, but you know, again, there's no spec on the benches. If you want, like some courses, I have the benches because another course, they started doing, well, 2 courses, they did new benches, brand new, made them part of the golf course. So that means if I left, they're still there, so it'll always look the same. You know, and that was a good program, so that's why I have extra benches this year, so we're gonna have more benches on course.
okay.
But that is a good program. I like that because you're able to get, and they cost anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 each, 6-foot benches. There's some nice ones. I think I prefer the ones with the, you know, the fake wood rather than some just one course took that we did the total metal ones, which you'll see down the center probably. They probably already have them in town or different places at, you know, the parks and stuff.
I will say there's a different point of view about benches, though, that
Mhm.
it slows down play.
No, they might not get used, but they don't slow down.
Okay.
Because people are in cats. But they're nice, they
Okay.
look nice.
Anything else come to mind that are potential things we could spend some money on? Assuming we have the funds available in the near term. Not that we just want to spend it, but is there anything else that comes to mind? And I guess perhaps,
ISTs was my big thing.
Perhaps.
You know, there's gonna be ongoing things and we kind of, you know, we did the traps 2 years ago, last year, excuse me. You know, we did drainage, and everything else, everything's going in the right direction. Biggest thing is to get the irrigation in the ground. And so as far as, you know, short-term money, you address those issues. I know that you also had on the docket is about the environmental program.
yep, we'll come to that here in a little.
Yeah,
bit.
so I'm sure there's some money has to be appropriated there, and again, I know Freddie was supposed to, is Freddie the one that's gonna be the spearhead for it?
Yeah, so
Coordinating things, so, you know, it's getting on the
That's correct.
plan.
Yep.
But that might be some money, a little bit of money here and there, depending what, you know, town wants to do for that program.
okay, so then I will, before the next meeting, make it a goal to come up with a budget that Mark agrees with. That could be brought to the select board. And we'll talk about general numbers. As you get specific numbers, let me know, John.
Yeah, I'll try to get them done by I'll make some phone calls, see what I can do there, see who needs to get
Okay.
met and, just make sure that they get done and.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Uh. Moving along the agenda then, Audubon certification. I have not heard anything from Freddie since early January, so there's no update. I'll ping her, but there's no update. Sign updates, I don't think there was anything to discuss right now, so. Are there any other topics? Anyone would like to discuss?
Sorry to come by unannounced. We wanted to come for the public speak and we were at the COA for a meeting. I'm Travis, I'm the recreation director.
I'm Christina McCarthy. I'm the program coordinator and also a South Bar resident.
Great, nice to meet you guys.
So we just wanted to say hi and drop a line and put a name with a face. And if we ever could collaborate on programming or tournaments or anything like that. We'd love
So
to.
let's do that.
Fair enough.
Awesome.
That was easy.
Very much.
So,
maybe-
how many, what kind of a tournament do you wanna have?
I mean, we were, yeah, it
This
was.
is a great idea, because it's such a nice golf course,
It's a
so.
gorgeous golf course. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we wanted to get together. Obviously, we haven't hashed anything out, but, I played in golf tournaments for the Massachusetts Recreation and Park Association before. Christina's a golfer, so it's obviously a gem in town and we'd like to highlight it. And if we could ever collaborate and do some fun stuff, maybe as a fundraiser or something like that, or just a community event. Be a cool thing to do.
That's great.
So we're all in. So if you have some ideas, then let us know.
Perfect.
When does the course open this year?
We're anticipating opening by the 27th, but it could be anywhere between the 20th and 27th, depending on, forecast.
Let's have a tournament.
We'll ping you and then maybe we can start working out the details.
I think that'd be great.
Awesome.
All right. Perfect.
Wait, who gets the proceeds?
There's always complexities. All right. So any other public comment? Yes, Lynn.
Yeah, and I apologize, I haven't sent out the numbers, I will get them out, either
Thank
this
you.
afternoon or in the morning. The league is kicking off on April 14th. And we're gonna skip Patriots Day, because so many people have a problem getting here and stuff. And then on April 28th. Anyone who wants to join us in the clubhouse after golf, we're gonna be having quite a birthday party, hopefully. Because Margit's turning 90 on May
Wow.
1st, so
Okay, so
Yep.
I'm gonna just interrupt for a second. So we don't advertise the course in any way. We don't write about it.
Yeah, we talked about that. I'm
Yeah,
writing an
right,
article.
right. So,
Yeah.
so what do you think?
That's what I wanted to talk
Right,
about.
yeah.
I wanted to.
You're writing an article.
Yeah, but I wanted to ask a couple of questions if that's.
So let's
okay
talk
for
about
us.
that. Yeah.
Okay, so my plan was to get it out for at the beginning of April. I didn't want to do it too early because then people just forget that you even wrote it. But I wanted to ask everyone's opinion on, do you want me to focus more on the history or the improvements we've made, or, because if it's too lengthy, people are just not
Right.
gonna, they're gonna turn it off.
think about what you as a golfer, what would attract you? You know, I mean, you're
Yeah.
a golfer, think of
Yeah.
what,
But I mean, I
Would
want to
be-
bring up kind of
Just
the
don't smoke the
historical part of it
women's
too,
league.
that, this has been and this has been in our midst this
Right.
whole time.
Yep.
And maybe about some of the improvements that have gone on.
Uh-huh.
yeah, I think.
Because
it's
really
great history,
Yeah.
Just how long it's been around, but I
Okay.
would really focus on what a nice course it is.
Okay. All right. So
I stress the,
Yeah.
stress the improvements since you've taken over 2016.
yeah, I agree.
2017.
I
After,
agree.
actually, it's probably after this is building, how that, we've come a long way during that time and, the improvement that we put in and look
Yes.
forward to seeing you out there.
Yeah, good.
But don't
good.
promote the women's league.
No, I won't.
What would be nice though, Julian, I don't know, who's running the men's league this year, or I don't even think my husband's heard anything from anybody. But if they wanted to promote it, they could do similar to what I used to do, because I used to just submit an article myself, and, I haven't obviously been doing that when I have a 22 people on the wait list. But,
Right.
the only thing is it would have to be done in conjunction with the person running it, because if it grows, it means more work for him.
That's right.
Right,
But it's a shame that there's so few guys in that league.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I don't have time to do that right now. One of these days I'd like to get involved in that myself. So, but it'd be great if there was someone else. Yes.
Now, you might consider actually, when the course opens, putting an announcement on the town's page, homepage.
Okay.
There's an announcements thing at the bottom that I'm afraid not a huge number of people look at. But Vanessa Hale coordinates that. And if you had an announcement, the course is open for business and a little short blurb on that, that might be some useful publicity there.
Is Mark still doing his, monthly,
That's his monthly
town manager update or whatever?
Getting that into as well might be a way to get communicate.
How many people read those, but yeah.
A fair number. So again, a mention in there talking not only courses open, but here's some improvements.
Yeah.
As well as My Southborough is the obvious one to get publicity blog. Their main things.
Well, so thank you again for taking a shot at that.
Am I welcoming all levels of golfers?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Although I did
Okay.
strike casual from our lead name. Someone contacted me who's just taken lessons. She's a friend of someone, I'm like, no, you have to have played on a course several times, multiple times before.
I had the best one this summer when, on a Saturday, had a gentleman was playing a threesome. He needed to rent clubs, so proceeded to go to the public closet. You need left-handed or right-handed, I don't know, he says.
Oh, no.
So I'm trying to say, did you play baseball? Did you, finally ended up handing him a left and a right. And he made his decision. So we welcome all golfers. I guess.
Yeah, we got behind somebody at Chatham Seaside Links, again, it's a small town, of course. And by the second hole, the woman was giving up, she's like, it looks so much easier on TV. It's just like, oh my God.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
Any other business we'd like to discuss?
Did the scorecards get updated?
Yes, they were. I think they sent to Tony. Did you get that? I know Bill was sending you a
I
proof.
don't remember seeing, I don't
But
remember.
I know I saw the proof. I know it was.
Okay.
And again, we'll use up what's there and then it'll be, great.
Can we talk about our schedules? Try to meet again without so much drama?
Well, I think once we get 2 more people.
So you are gone for a while, Jen? How about April 17th? 9 AM, April 17th.
I won't be good.
That works for me.
Doesn't work for you, Lynn?
No. That's okay.
I think we might go with that time. Let's go with April 19th.
No, 7.
17th. April 17th.
9 AM. Okay.
Here,
Here,
Do
can
we,
you book it right now?
I will book it tomorrow. 9 AM. And it was surprising how often this room was booked
Yeah.
over the last 2 months. Very surprising. Okay,
so we
Um,
are, so as long as Pat does what she has to do, she comes to the next meeting, she's all set.
Well, she has to be,
who's Pat?
Yeah, Pat Lally. That's who I was gonna bring as another committee member.
So I think she has to
She has,
fill out a form online.
yes,
And then,
Go to
they're-
us.
and then they're gonna send me a note and say, hey, do you want this person? And I'll say yes, and then it goes to the select board. And they have to vote, and then she can attend the meeting.
I mean, she can attend a meeting.
She can attend,
Yeah.
but she won't be.
But she may not be a voting committee member.
Please,
Okay.
please invite her to the next meeting.
okay,
And she may not be a vote.
okay.
Because then she has to. get
That was the
sworn in
one,
as well.
but that was the one, well, that was the one problem she had was Thursday mornings, because she volunteers.
Well, then we'll shift the date.
Okay, because she
We'll
does,
shift the date.
she does volunteers at the Southborough Food Pantry.
And then we ended up on Thursday, I think, for Ira, but we can shift this.
Okay, all right,
Okay,
You wanna
And
look
what
at another
about
date
the
now?
person that you had as well?
that's okay, but next time. because
his
she
name
would-
was
Well, she
Susan,
might
and
wanna come to the
I'm
meeting
waiting
now.
for
Yeah.
him to become official.
Has he submitted anything that you know?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
he's in process, so I don't, if it hasn't gone to the select board, it should go.
anything yet.
You haven't seen.
It must be, I would assume it's gonna go to the next, because I've done what I was supposed to do. I said, yes, and can, nominate this person.
I'll inquire. We have a meeting tonight, but it's virtual for the budget.
Okay,
Meeting next week, next Tuesday.
okay,
So it'd be good to get that on there.
I'll ask one last time. Anything else? Okay. We need to move.
We're going to adjourn?
I second.
All in favor? Thank you very much.